So good morning, Marie. How are you in sunny Leeds, is it, this morning?
Yeah, hi Vanessa, I'm fine today, thank you. Yeah, no problems. Not so sunny today, but
Oh,
good enough to cycle into work.
oh, fantastic. I like to hear that. So as you're aware, I'm going to ask you three simple questions to help me then put together this case study. And the first question is, what was the problem that your firm had?
Okay, so we set up the firm, I think, 4 years before we spoke to you, Vanessa, and we set it up from scratch. It's a niche practice. I was leading one of the areas, and I had always been a good solicitor, but always been bad at billing. So when we started the firm up and there were just a few of us, that was fine because I was writing off my own money and not billing appropriately because I didn't have to bill appropriately. But as the firm grew, the problem became that every single new employee was then following my lead. And what transpired was I was not valuing the service that I was giving to clients appropriately, which meant that the people coming up behind me were similarly undervaluing themselves and felt undervalued if I then discounted on their work as well. And that didn't become a massive problem, but I could see it becoming a problem, and it impacted then on profit. And what that then meant is that when we came to looking at pay rises and pay increases and bonuses, it became more relevant to look at, well, where is the money and how can we incentivize people to stay and make them feel valued? So it was a sort of drip problem that I think started with me and my hang-ups about not charging too much and being a nice person, and then it had filtered down. So we definitely did need help.
Fantastic. That's really good information for people to be able to hear that because you're a director of the firm, then how you operate then impacts on the other people working with you. And as you're growing, of course, the impact becomes greater if you don't address that problem. So what was I like to work with, Marie?
Oh, okay. So, I mean, obviously we met at an event, didn't we, Vanessa? And I instantly warmed to you because I like a straight talker, and I realised that we needed somebody who wasn't going to hold back on the punches. It had been an issue in the firm that I had wanted to address, but I didn't really know where to start. I had tried, but we couldn't get the culture to shift as a group. Yeah. So we needed to stop the discounting, the double discounting, and we needed somebody to show us how to do that, to keep the money in the business and to become more confident with billing and have a more uniform approach. In other words, to know the value of the service we were providing, not to overcharge, to charge a fair fee for the work that we were delivering as a unit, and to take the fear out of it across the board. And you delivered that for us because, yes, you came in to speak to us. We did a group workshop. It came with literature, which was extremely helpful, not complicated, but extremely helpful in order that we could look at what we were billing, look at what we were discounting, then double discounting, looking at the losses per annum between, at this point, 12 fee earners, which is a lot of discounting on a monthly basis. And it gave us the methodology to move forward with our billing techniques, to be clear with clients, which took away a lot of fear and awkward conversations. And it took away the awkward conversations between ourselves because what we actually say in the office now, if anybody's having an awkward billing moment, is, what would Vanessa say? And then one of us will morph into you. I won't do the impression now. And it's just, you've helped us to address it, a great third-party perspective without being too brutal, really. I mean, just straight talking, that's been fantastic for us, and we really valued what you did. It's helped to unify us as a group.
Yeah, fantastic. Yes, and I seem to remember there might have been somebody who implemented some of the stuff straight away. Was that right?
That's right. So what happened after we'd had the original session. I think we'd had a morning session. It'd been 2 or 3 hours, and I have to say, at first I'd hesitated about the cost of investing, you know, because it's a vicious circle, isn't it? Well, we might not have the money, and now we're investing someone to tell us how to do the charging, and that might be a waste of money. But actually the outcome for me was almost immediate. So I had a particular issue, a fee earner who was terribly underconfident, who'd done a fantastic job for somebody over a prolonged period of time, and was oohing and ahhing about invoicing them for the full amount of time that had been spent, even though that had been agreed. And she was talking before we went into the meeting about discounting £400. And when we left the meeting, she went straight to her desk and invoiced for the full amount. And we had discovered that the fear was that she would be criticised or the client wouldn't be very happy. And in fact, the response from the client was that he, in this case, was overjoyed, still followed up with flowers and chocolates, felt that he'd been really reasonably treated and it was a fair price. And more importantly for me, she was over the moon and her confidence skyrocketed, and that rubbed off on the rest of the team, because this is a senior member of my staff. So it just proved to us that actually, if you are fair, if you do charge a reasonable price, if you deliver on what you promise, and you are transparent about your costs, that the outcomes can still be great. You know, we still get the cards, we still get pictures of people's children, we've still got the human touch, but we are actually now being appropriately remunerated for the work that we do.
Yeah, but it just goes to prove that what goes on in people's heads is often rubbish, but they don't know it's rubbish. They listen to it, they act on it, and that's what causes a lot of problems. So the last question was actually, what has happened as a result? You've partially answered that question, but have you got anything else to add to that, Marie?
Well, as a result now, we do have reviews monthly as to where we are with charging. We talk about things more openly. You know, we still do discount, but we do it in a more knowing way. So we take decisions differently as a firm, and we're not uniformly just discounting and undercharging to get work. I think the best thing for me that's come out of this is the value that people have got in themselves. They feel valuable, they feel more confident, like they're doing a better job, and they feel valued by me, which is the most important thing for me, because I didn't want them to think that because I had a low confidence, it meant that I thought they weren't very good. So I've become better at communicating to them, which I think has made me better as a leader. So we've had some great outcomes, and in terms of the accounts and turnover, we have seen for that year a significant increase in turnover and profit. I think the turnover was up 50% on the year after we've been speaking to you now.
So you've won on every level, really, financially, emotionally.
Right, and the money that we spent with you obviously was worth a 50% increase in turnover for that particular year. So it's been, you know, brilliant, and it's enabled us to expand and move forward. So I wouldn't hesitate to recommend this. It's been
that's fantastic.
Yeah.
And I have to say, you know, from my perspective as well, working with a firm like yours was a total joy. I know we had so much fun on that day. And of course, when I get the kind of feedback that says there's been big shifts going on, it's a huge boost for me as well, because part of what I do is pleasurable for me when I see people getting those kind of big results going on. So more power to the people who take the plunge and invest in themselves and their businesses, because they get the results they want to get. And of course, the results that I'm getting with people is not just for now, it's year on year. So if you look back in 10 years' time, you'd think, wow, the value of doing that was just unbelievable. So, and I appreciate you spending time with me today, because I know you're a very, very busy person. Would you like to have the final word, Marie? Is there anything you'd like to say?
No, just that we can't wait to have you back, maybe in a few years' time, or as a refresher, because I think it's something that we probably need to look at on an ongoing basis, as does everybody who's growing a business. And it's been lovely to work with you as well.
Oh,
thank you.
Marie. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye for now.
Bye.